So let's read Maxim 3 as you see on my screen. Fix your goal, which should be complete oneness with God. Rest not till the ideal is achieved. Let me read it again. Fix your goal, which should be complete oneness with God. Rest not till the ideal is achieved. So this will be the topic of our discussion today. So what should be the immediate question which comes to our mind when we read this? You can see the word goal is highlighted here, right? So the first question comes to our mind is, what is goal? What is this goal we are talking about? A while ago, I'm talking about 10, 15 years back, one of my friend and a good friend and a colleague who started heartfulness meditation, and he practiced for about 8-9 months very sincerely. And one night he called me and asked, how many people who are practicing heartfulness have reached the goal? If out of 100,000, 1 million people who are practicing, if 1 or 2 people have achieved this goal, then my chances are very bleak. Okay, so how many of them have achieved the goal? So I'm going to share the answer which I gave it to him. So here, goal, what is goal? If you understand it, then it brings certain clarity. Otherwise it becomes a lofty state, where nobody can achieve, some esoteric state nobody knows. Even the scriptures, say that which cannot be known, that which cannot be experienced, that which cannot be felt, they make it impossible to even think about it, right? So I told him, what are you meditating on when you meditate every time? What is the supposition we begin with? We say this higher essence within me is drawing my mind inside. That means I am getting absorbed into it. So every time we sit in meditation, it kind of takes us to a certain deep state. Of course, with the aid of this transmission, what we call pranahuti, or the yogic energy, gives us that state, taste of that being with that goal, the ultimate state, every time we meditate. So that basically tells us that every time we meditate, we achieved that goal. So I told him, everyone who meditated under the heartfulness practice have achieved the goal. Okay, everyone did it. So now, whoever has practiced it, it happened to them. Every time they meditated, they achieved, they are with the goal. Then why this Maxim 2 if I am already there? Right? Why? Because, see, if I am watching a movie, I am totally engrossed into the movie. If my wife or my kid or whoever is standing next to me, I don't even notice. It is just so happening we are so engaged with this world so much. The goal is eluding us. It is there, but it is given, but you see what's happening there? So all that it requires is, like I said in the last session, interest and attention. All that it requires is that. It is not too difficult. So today I want to clarify a few things on this topic of goal, so that next time when we meditate, this goal becomes easier and easier and easier, the easiest. So it is not reserved for only certain saints, certain people, things like that. We don't have to play a guilt card here. Oh, I am a sinner, so it is not for me. It is for everybody. Equally available. It is with everyone. You see? But what's happening is, like the Spider-Man says, greater power comes with greater responsibilities. What is that greater power which is given to us? Our mind. The power of mind. It is equally given to us. Some people, we seem to be intellect because they are exercising that power. Some people are not so intellect, it appears like that because they are not exercising it. That's the only difference. But the power of mind is equally given to everyone. So instead of using it responsibly, we are kind of spending it in the ways, and then we come back and say, oh, my life is very stressed. My life situations are so stressed. I'm losing my calmness. And then we question about how to deal with anger, how to deal with sadness, how to deal with so many things. Why? Because we squandered this power. We misutilized this power. Very simple as it is. Can meditation fix it? Can I become calm if I meditate? The answer is yes and no. Yes, you become calm when you meditate. But can you hold on to that calmness? And the next time you look at the phone, the stress begins. My teacher used to say, the cell phone is the devil's invention. So we are hooked to the devil. Even during meditation, a lot of people check their phone. It has become a habit. So the squandering. See, I'll give you a very simple example. Even our resources, natural resources, we waste it. The most precious resource which we don't recognize, acknowledge, is water. There is no process on earth to make water. And you will be surprised if I tell you water is alien to earth. Water was never made on earth. After the water came from the skies above. Now it's only recycling. It has become the source of life. Even when we are doing the dishwashing, we put our tap at the full force, more than required. The water is becoming waste. I don't know how many of you seen this movie Martian. He's stuck in the Mars and now he needs water. He has these oxygen cylinders. He can try to combine with them with the hydrogen so that he can produce water. There is a huge blast happens, right? In fact, this is an experiment done by one scientist. Huge blast. In the movie, as if they show he got some water, but for the amount of hydrogen and from amount of oxygen he used, and with all the blast, he would have probably got less than a spoon of water. So every drop of water we waste, we are putting the future generations in trouble. So every resource has to be utilized, to its fullest potential, at the same time minimal. How is it possible? To fullest potential and minimal. That's exactly what happens in meditation. We close our eyes, we connect to this highest essence. We begin there, we begin with the goal, our meditation. Goal is not some far away thing here. We begin our meditation with the goal in our mind. And it happens every time. Now, what is the problem is the retention part. We need to work upon. And this being almost the zero potential, this goal, zero vibration, the potency is very high. It's like the homeopathic medication. The lower the potency, the more powerful it is. Babaji used to call it invertendo. So what's happening is when we go into this meditation, the cognizance, we cognize, So when that happens, of this nature of what it is being like there at the goal, slowly it is sort of revealed to us. It is not slowly revealed to us, it is revealed to us completely, but we are only perceiving it, a tiny bit of it. And slowly, as our perception, our awareness, as the consciousness is expanding, the cognizance of it is also growing. As it is growing, we must hold on to it. Again, it is such a subtle state, such a sublime, serene state. A small thing can change it. In fact, Daji said, after your meditation, without getting absorbed into it, without giving it some time, if you get up and turn on the fan, this is lost. After the meditation, you just pick up the glass of water in front of you, take a sip of water, this condition is lost. You see how subtle this is? So it is very, very, very essential after the meditation to take that 5 minutes, absorb, grasp it, what happened, because you will only know what happened when you come out of it. Hold on to that state and try to reproduce it again and again throughout the day without meditating. So that's the whole idea. So until this becomes my natural condition, that's why rest not until the ideal is achieved. The ideal is achieved only if I'm constantly, continuously working on it in the present. What is present again? It's a continuous now. The moment I say now, the now is over. So it's a continuous now when I say present. So we need to work upon ourselves. Hold on to that state. Then that oneness happens. What is oneness here? A lot of times I myself have given this example. A water drops into the ocean, now the identity of the drop is lost. It has become the ocean. So it appeals as if it's self-annihilation. But even some people like that idea, self-annihilation. Oh, I should lose my identity. I should have that divinity in me because I am so insignificant. See, again the invertendo principle here, that's not how it works. Here, this infinity plus infinity is still infinity. But that infinity plus infinity there is some difference. You see? A vacuum, empty, ness coming into emptiness, more emptiness. See, Buddha thought about it as empty your thoughts. And Babaji went one step ahead. It is not empty which is the essence, it is the emptiness, nothingness, he called it. Into that state of nothingness. Yesterday I was telling Sai, when I am in the state of nothingness, what is known as inanimate state, the mind is automatically thinking of what it is like being in the animated state. If it is in an animated state, which is in the current state, we are all looking for peace, calmness. That means the animated state is thinking of the inanimated state. We are always looking at the opposite. It's like that king dreams of being a beggar. And he found some food and he's fighting with the dogs to get that food. He gets scared. He calls his court ministers and asks them, am I the beggar who is dreaming of the king, or am I the king who is dreaming of the beggar? Which one is true? Right? So we are always shifting between these states. If I am in this state, then I am thinking about the other. If I am in the other state, I am thinking about this. I am only thinking about this if I have an experience like this through heartfulness meditation system. Otherwise, I don't even know. It is some esoteric knowledge, as the scriptures talk about. That which cannot be known, that which cannot be felt, that which cannot be experienced. Then what are you doing here? Right? So we need to have this heartfulness is giving you such a most I'm lost of words here. That greater knowledge. Knowledge is nothing but it's a state of being. It is putting you in every meditation in that state, which we cannot even fathom, which we cannot even imagine what it is like, but yet it is happening in every meditation. Now it is our responsibility, when such a highest potential is given, to utilize it fully, properly. So this maxims, the fourth maxim is well connected to the third maxim, and we're going to talk about it next week. So when we can utilize it properly, completely, cherish it, nourish it, as Daji puts it in the letters A, E, I, O, U. Acquire this condition through meditation. So once we acquire it, it is not enough to acquire it. We must cherish it. This cherishing, the word he gave is enliven, means enhance it and absorb it, let it become yours. You own it. What is called imbibing. And once I become one, it becomes my true nature. That means it is the possibility is there in every meditation, like I began with this talk. So every meditation is filled with such potential.
So what is OU? You told imbibe, then O?
Absorb and unite, become one with it.
Observe.
Yeah. And unite, become one with it.
Thank you.
So it's so important. Every meditation. See, even if it goes 5 minutes over, a lot of people drop off from this meditation. Why? Because That means where was the observation that imbibing is happening in your meditation when the other activities are so important? So even though you are meditating, you are already checking your time, checking your phone. How do you think the goal will happen? And the peace will happen, the calmness, all the benefits we are thinking about, how are they going to happen? So the sole responsibility is on us. There is no, guru automatically. Guru is doing his job. The teacher, spiritual teacher is doing his job. He is transmitting. He is making sure all that should be given is given. Once I own it, once I imbibe it, it is my responsibility to become one with it. The onus already shifted. So, like they say, when there is a huge wind, hurricane, you cannot put a lamp in the hurricane and pray to the God and say, "Oh God, protect this lamp from turning off." Is it possible? So what happened is we kind of got into these magical powers of God. Somehow we got into that idea. But God already has put all His power, all His potential into us. We must acknowledge it and recognize it and utilize it. So that's what this maxim is all about. I'll stop here for any comments, questions. That's why, like I said, all this potential is put into us. Now it is our responsibility to protect us. That's why I made this statement last week. In religion, God protects us. In spirituality, we protect the God. Because He's already put Himself into us. Now we have to nourish it. We have to protect it. Okay? Alright. So I'll stop here. If no questions.
I have a question.
Yes, Cliff.
I find I frequently check the time, somewhat freezing about halfway through. And then again, as I get towards the end. What do you suggest to overcome that?
So what is happening is, like I said, when the mind goes into that inanimate, total deep state, for somehow it wants to come out. So that's when we come out, we kind of end up looking at the time or things like that. But if we kind of avoid that curiosity and get into it again, without opening our eyes, just wait and get into again, it will happen. We go into that state again. Right? So, but what happens is, after some time, even if you want to get in, you cannot get in. That's when your meditation is reached its completeness. Then you can open your eyes.
Yes, but you say when you reach your completeness, just keep your eyes closed for about 5 minutes and try to absorb it.
Absorb it, and then then again, if you don't go into the deep state, that means your meditation is over. And you have something to carry out after meditation, and then hold on to that something which you carried out. So there is no, if I'm continuously checking my time every 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and I'll tell you that will also happen. Reason, this meditation, is many states. You are going from one state into another state. So when we enter the next state, the mind is not so comfortable in that state. So we find it difficult to meditate, because then, we have to clean, we have to attend these sessions with the heartfulness trainers for deeper cleaning, and the transmission happens, then we master that state. As we master that state, meditations become deeper. But when I entered that state, and this is my first meditation after entering that state, I find, oh, when this meditation is going to be over, is it hour already, but it's only a minute. You feel every minute feels like an hour. So that is natural that at that point, you were constantly checking the time, is it really 1 hour, is it really half hour, things like that, right? But that's okay. But then again, we kind of work upon ourselves, and as we master that state, it goes deeper. So this oneness happens at every state, and then next, and then next, and then next.
I have a.
Sorry.
No, sorry. Please go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Brother, thank you. Yesterday I had the same thing. What you said was correct. Mr. Cliff was telling. Yesterday I had the same feeling, and I was checking my time, but I didn't want to quit the session, and I wanted to keep myself away from all that distraction and keep myself aligned with the meditation process.
Right.
And today, surprisingly, when I did it, and I was fully focused today. I could stand, and I did not want to leave it and come back. Actually, I wanted to stay there. And you said, it's done. I did not want to go really. I was still wanted to go back and stay there. But thank you.
Hi, this is Sesha. If I may add a couple of things. So one of the fundamental definitions of this meditation is effortless focus, right? If we are finding that meditation is becoming an effort, then we need to re-examine that state to say exactly, so let's try to first understand the root of that. And maybe it is not the right frame, if you will, to go into that act of meditation, because meditation is not an act, right? It is almost as if it's a natural state that we are getting drawn into. So the question around the fact that, look, during halfway through meditation, if I have to, check out, or if I have to do something, so maybe we need to examine a couple of things to say that, so are there other fundamental things that are happening that maybe that if we could take care of those, then maybe our meditation would be that much smoother, if you will. The second point is that the time itself, was the number of minutes that I spent during the meditation, probably is not really like the right metric for us to think about, right? Sometimes we may not be able to meditate more than 5 minutes, right? And as Srikant Bhai was saying that, that maybe it's a gauge for us to say that, look, we have reached for that particular meditation where we need to reach at that stage. The third point that I would like to make is that we have discussed this in one of these calls before. Cheerfully and joyfully accepting whatever comes my way during meditation will go a long way in us finding it more and more natural to accept things that come up our way during meditation. And they come for a reason. We may or may not understand those reasons today. But eventually, we should, if we give ourselves the confidence to say that, look, this too shall pass, we probably would find ourselves to be a little bit more accommodating to whatever happens to us during that meditation. So the suggestion would be that let's not go through the motions of meditation as if it's an act, number one. And number two, let's just accept whatever comes. And there are ways and means to, explore as to why things are happening. And if there is maybe if that time of the day is not suitable for us to meditate, maybe we can find another time. that may be less stressful for us or less distracting for us. Maybe the place in which we are meditating could be a thing. Maybe we need to connect with a trainer to say, hey, can I get a session with you, or can I sit and meditate with you? So there are multiple ways in which we could explore the journey together. But those are some of the thoughts that come to mind. And the final thing that I would say is that we have also talked about that in this particular sessions in the past. Approaching each meditation as if it was our last meditation also gives us a sense of anticipation to say that, look, if this was the only meditation I'm going to be doing, and this was the last one, then the complete oneness with God, or whatever the goal as we have defined in this maxim, then this becomes our window to essentially put ourselves fully in there. So I'm going to pause and hand it over back to Srikanta.
Thank you, Seshambai. Good points. So, I think now we got the gist of it, how every meditation to be treated. So, let's do with that. And Cliff, you had another question. Sorry. Can you go ahead? Or a comment you were making. Cliff, you're on mute.
I think I have a theory that the one measure of, we talk about, okay, well, if you interrupt your meditation, then everything is lost, potentially. But I think if we look at ourselves, how our behavior has changed and how our attitudes are changed, if you are becoming calmer, more open, and kinder, I think then it's working.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well said. Thanks.
Okay, well, thank you. I mean, it kind of reforms what I was thinking.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. You guys have a good Sunday and rest of the week. Thank you all.
Thank you.